Please, we love this city.
And we want you to love it too.
We are proud of this place.
Na pass we all the pass like stranger them.
Coming up in tonight's bulletin, 69th Ordinary Session of ECOWAS Council of Ministers opens in Freetown. Ministry of Environment and Climate Change holds engagement in Waterloo on proposed climate change bill. And Cabinet approved for the establishment of a new national shipping company. These stories and more are lined up in this edition of Newshour. We start news with the ECOWAS session in Sierra Leone. The 69th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers has opened in Freetown at a critical point for West Africa. Meeting at the Bintumani Hall in Aberdeen ahead of the 69th ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State Summit, this session is focused on issues that directly affect citizens across the bloc, ranging from security threats, economic pressures, and the fallout from the withdrawal of 3 member states. Esther Sako has more in this report.
The session brings together ministers, commissioners, chief negotiators, diplomats, development partners, and representatives of ECOWAS institutions. Deliberations will cover regional peace and security, economic integration, infrastructure development, trade and investment, humanitarian issues, and implementation of decisions from the Authority of Heads of State and Government. ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Umar Ali Touré described the past 4 years as a period defined by complex political transitions, evolving security threats, and an increasingly fragile global environment. He noted the withdrawal of 3 member states as a major challenge, pointed to achievements aimed at strengthening the bloc. He cited the operationalization of the Permanent Representatives Committee, completion of the VUM Eco Bridge, and the launch of the ECOWAS Business Council chaired by Alhaji Aliko Dankote. He also referenced the relocation of the Commission to its new headquarters in Abuja this year. The President urged the Council to focus on turning the vision of integration into steps that respond to current realities.
Our focus must now be on translating our shared vision into concrete actions that respond to the changing realities of our region. The agenda before you is both comprehensive and forward-looking. During this session, we will consider the 2026 interim report on the state of the community, review the financial position of the community, assess the implementation of decisions taken by previous sessions of council, and consider reports from the ad hoc ministerial committee and the judicial council on the selection and evaluation of the performance of statutory appointments.
Sierra Leone's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and Chair of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers framed ECOWAS's strength around the unity and political will of member states. Alhaji Timothy Kaba identified the region's immediate pressures as a geopolitical shift, climate change, youth unemployment, food insecurity, terrorism, violent extremism, and constitutional disruptions. He stressed that dialogue and cooperation remain essential for finding collective solutions to these problems.
This meeting offers another opportunity to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to dialogue, consensus building, and regional cooperation. By upholding these enduring principles, we can continue to preserve peace, strengthen democratic governance, deepen economic integration, and improve the lives of our citizens who look to ECOWAS as a beacon of hope and opportunity.
For member states, the Council meeting is about translating regional commitment into practical action. The agenda covers institutional reforms to make ECOWAS more responsive to infrastructure, trade, and coordinated responses to terrorism, climate change, and food security. The ministers are expected to prepare decisions that protect free movement, stabilize markets, and create opportunities for young people. SLBC News, Esther Sako reporting.
Sierra Leone has played host to the 56th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level. Regional leaders gathered to discuss pressing security, political, and humanitarian challenges in the West Africa community. Esther Sako again.
The session came at a time when the regional bloc has been faced with numerous challenges not limited to climate change, terrorism, and violent extremism. For the first time, Sierra Leone is playing host to such an important event to chat on democratic consolidation, peaceful political transition, and national efforts towards dialogue, reconciliation, and institutional reforms. President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Omar Aliou Touré, painted a sobering picture of the region's realities, highlighting key threats such as transnational organized crimes and humanitarian crises affecting millions. Despite these difficulties, he pointed to the region's resilience and examples of successful democratic transitions, positioning Sierra Leone's own post-conflict recovery as an inspiring model. He emphasized the importance of collective resolve, collaboration, and translating discussions into actionable outcomes to protect citizens and advance regional integration.
We must strengthen our collective capacity to participate, prevent, and respond to emerging threats. We must invest more in preventive diplomacy, mediation, and peace building. We must reinforce our institutions and ensure that our peace and security architecture is adequately equipped to address contemporary challenges.
Sierra Leone's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and Chair of the Mediation and Security Council, Alhaji Timothy Kaba, emphasized the session's critical importance in strengthening peace, security, democratic governance, and regional integration amid a complex global and regional environment. He said the ministerial session would review detailed report from the Permanent Representatives Committee on the political, peace, security, and humanitarian situation across West Africa. He reaffirmed Sierra Leone's full commitment to the ECOWAS process and called for practical recommendations that can be forwarded to the heads of state and government.
ECOWAS has demonstrated considerable resilience. Consequently, this session necessitates a more proactive approach to thoroughly evaluate our preparedness across various domains in order to prevent, manage, and resolve ongoing political transitions as well as emerging conflicts among member states.
The 56th ministerial session is expected to produce concrete outcomes to bolster ECOWAS's peace and security architecture and support long-term stability and integration in the sub-region. SLBC News, Esther Sako reporting.
The UNICEF country representative has presented credentials to the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation as the new UNICEF country representative in Sierra Leone. Mariko Kagoshima said she would strengthen ties with the government to push for the rights and well-being of children across the country. especially those facing the greatest barriers. Our reporter, Yusi Mosure Suma, has the details.
Before joining UNICEF Sierra Leone, Mariko Kagoshima served as deputy representative in Ethiopia, where she provided leadership and oversight to one of UNICEF's largest country programs and supported efforts to strengthen resilience, climate action, and innovation. She previously served as UNICEF representative in Jamaica. There she led program implementation and strategic partnership to advance results for children. Throughout her career, UNICEF country representative has held senior leadership and program roles in Guatemala, Honduras, Uganda, Angola, Afghanistan, and Mexico, contributing to humanitarian and development responses that support children and families. She said she was honored to serve as UNICEF representative in Sierra Leone at a time of great opportunity for children and young people. She commended Sierra Leone for the progress on children's affairs. She pledged that UNICEF will continue working with the government and partners to help accelerate that progress and ensure that no child is left behind. Receiving her credentials on behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Frances Algali, noted UNICEF's long-standing partnership with Sierra Leone and its support for national development priorities for children. She said the government looks forward to further strengthening partnerships with UNICEF. Both parties reaffirm commitment to improving the welfare of children in Sierra Leone. SLBC News, Yusuf Mosire Suma, Freetown.
Well, now to the presidency. President Julius Maada Bio has inspected the Lunge International Conference Center ahead of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States Media Summit. It is the first time Sierra Leone will host the highest level of regional meeting. Let's now join our State House correspondent Margaret Senge for more on that report.
The countdown to ECOWAS Authority Heads of States Media Summit is on. President Julius Maada Bio, who also chairs the ECOWAS Authority of Head of States, toured the newly built Lunge International Conference Center to inspect final preparations. The state-of-the-art facility located in Lunge, Kafubulom Chiefdom, Potloko District, will host regional leaders for the summit. The president inspected the multipurpose hall, banquet hall, presidential lounge, and conference rooms, among others, named after distinguished Sierra Leone landmarks. During the tour, he met with officials overseeing the project. He called for final improvements to synergize the branding and visitors' experience to ensure the venue is ready for the summit. The inspection showed that preparations are in the final stages. President Bio said, hosting the summit gives Sierra Leone a chance to showcase its hospitality, infrastructure, and ability to host major international events, and regional leaders meet to discuss peace, security, and regional integration. Reporting for SLBC News, I am Margaret Senge.
The Environment Protection Agency Sierra Leone has commenced refreshers training for park rangers under the Sustainable and Integrated Land Management of the Western Area Peninsula projects. The training is aimed at strengthening the capacity of rangers in technological data collection while enhancing their understanding of the legal framework governing the protection of the Western Area Peninsula National Park. Orin Red Fox has the detail.
The training, organized under the Sustainable and Integrated Landscape Management of the Western Area Peninsula project, brought together rangers and conservation stakeholders to enhance their knowledge and practical skills in biodiversity monitoring and park management. The project is aimed at improving conservation efforts and strengthening environmental protection in the country's protected forest areas. Participants were reminded that the Western Area Peninsula National Park remains one of Sierra Leone's most critical protected ecosystems. Head of Law Enforcement and Compliance, NPPA, Dauda Lange Bangura, emphasized that equipping game guards with updated knowledge and modern technological tools will improve patrol operations, strengthen environmental monitoring, and promote engagement with surrounding communities in biodiversity conservation, highlighting key provisions of the National Protected Areas Act of 2022 and the Wildlife Conservation Act of 1972 as amended in 2022.
No person shall enter a protected area without the permit or the approval of the National Protected Area Authority. It also provides that no person shall burn charcoal. No person shall fell trees within the Western Area Peninsula National Park. No person shall conduct any activity of farming, excavation, or mining within the Western Area Peninsula National Park. As well, no person shall introduce alien or invasive species within the landscape without the tacit approval of the National Protected Area Authority. One
of the participants, Zeden Gassama, says the training is helping rangers better understand the laws governing protected areas and how technology can improve their daily work.
First of all, I'm happy to be here because this is my first time since I joined NPA. This is my first time to taught us a lot about how to apprehend a defaulter. We know it, but we add more, so I'm very happy.
The refreshers training is expected to further strengthen the capacity of park rangers to effectively protect the Western Area Peninsula National Park while supporting Sierra Leone's broader commitment and biodiversity conservation. Reporting for SLBC, Alwyn Roy Fox.
Cabinet has approved for the establishment of a new national shipping company, making a major step toward reviving Sierra Leone's maritime sector and strengthening its position in regional and international trade. The new company, called Sierra Leone Ocean Shipping Company, will be formed through a joint venture between the Sierra Leone National Shipping Agency and a Chinese partner. Emmanuel Williams reports.
National Shipping Agency has approved for the formation of the Sierra Leone Ocean Shipping Company Limited. The company will operate as a joint venture between the Sierra Leone National Shipping Agency and the Shijai Group Company Limited. The initiative aims to revive the Sierra Leone national carrier, which was lost during the Civil War, and to reposition the country within the global shipping industry. Officials said the partnership will help address the country's lack of vessels in the sea and open up opportunities for trade, employment, and skills development. The Director General of the Sierra Leone National Shipping Agency, Mustafa Liza, said the partnership will enable the country to acquire vessels, create jobs for young people, and provide training opportunities for seafarers. The Chief Operating Officer from the Shijai Group said the company was here to help Sierra Leone.
National Shipping Company is not merely a commercial project. It will drive the national economic development, creating more employment opportunities and bring more benefits for the Sierra Leone people.
The Minister of Transport and Aviation, Alhaji Fande Toure, also welcomed the development, describing it as a sign that Sierra Leone is open to international investment.
We are not simply signing an agreement. We are investing in the future of our nation. We are creating jobs, expanding opportunity, strengthening our economy, and laying the foundation for a modern maritime industry that will benefit generations of Sierra Leoneans. Together, we are charting a new course for Sierra Leone.
The agreement will be submitted to Parliament for ratification before full implementation. For LCBC News, Emmanuel Williams reporting.
The Freetown City Council has organized a community climate action ambassadors training aimed at empowering residents of Freetown to take an active role in environmental protection and climate resilience. The training, which was held under the Town Project, further highlights the FCC's ambition tree planting campaign and the importance of community participation in preserving the environment. Oliver Fox again.
Climate action at the grassroots level. The initiative focuses on the 3 major catchment areas while working closely with other government institutions, local authorities, and other stakeholders to protect trees from destruction and prevent activities such as the degradation of mangrove ecosystems and illegal land use. The Green Infrastructure and Field Operations Officer, Lahai Darami, said the community tree planting project is targeting nearly 1.5 million trees through active community and stakeholder engagement.
As part of my role as a green infrastructure and field operation officers, we ensure that I went into the field and have these people in different communities, try to engage them, try to see how best we can do field exercise in respect of the project to ensure that they track the trees, they plant the trees, and ensure that the trees are well protected in the different communities. So these people are actually working together with us to ensure that we plant trees, we track trees, and protect trees in the different communities.
He further noted that local residents are being engaged as tree trackers and field workers to monitor the growth, survival, and protection of the trees, ensuring that communities take ownership of the initiative. The participants welcomed the initiative, describing it as timely and essential in building community resilience against the growing impacts of climate change.
The role is this, that for me, the community people here and talk to.
My role is to meet and talk to the community people. Right now, flooding is taking place, and if there are no trees, there will be more disasters in the community.
And more, how for take care.
I have learned how to take care of my community, especially during the rainy season. We should not cut trees down and build houses where the water is supposed to pass.
We enable them because we all for the at peace.
The initiative also forms part of the broader vision of making Freetown a greener, healthier, and more climate resilient city, as well as advancing sustainable environmental management across the city. Reporting for SLBC, Alwyn.
As the rainy season intensifies, communities are in search for agroecology that can provide natural benefits and protection against intense weather. The CBO Braco is partnering with Petro Jetty to provide the solution through tree planting. Ara Williams, what was the commencement of the efforts?
Beautification, Rehabilitation and Conservation Organization Executive Director Sheku Rogers said the community should embrace the environment in this urban and industrial area of Kisi Dockyards, Culvert, and its surroundings. ESG ambassador for the supporting company, Petro Jetty Sierra Leone Limited, Familia Rahman, said they were neighbors with the Kisi community, and as good neighbors, they were interested to see that the community receives the benefits of tree planting, including nutrition, cash income, and ecosystem protection. The launching, as symbolic of a further tree planting drive, is presently underway at both the Kisi Shell and Mongeba communities, who were represented by their traditional chiefs, local government representatives, and youth leaders selected to guide their peers in tree planting exercises. Deputy Forest Conservator Joseph Banya registered support for an initiative that creates the link between resilient climate change solutions, community risk reduction, and corporate social responsibility. National Protected Area Authority Director Sheikh Tunis asked corporations to scale up their support to the environment and said they were committed to restoration solutions that were good for nature and the adjacent communities. The planting of trees officially commenced with all hands on deck until October to ensure that 2,000 trees of economic and restorative value are distributed in the Kisishel and Mongaba communities. The ceremony was chaired by retired Director of Environment Edward Bendu.
The Minister of Employment, Labour and Social Security, in collaboration with the Sierra Leone Labour Congress and the Sierra Leone Domestic Workers Union with support from the International Labour Organization, has launched the National Steering Committee for Domestic Workers. The committee is expected to play a key role in driving reforms and ensuring greater protection and recognition for domestic workers in the country. Dennis Fraser reports.
The launch of the National Steering Committee on International Labour Organization Convention 189 was witnessed by the Deputy Minister of Employment, Labour and Social Security, Lansana Mohamed Doumbia, held under the theme Creating Decent Work for Local and Migrant Domestic Workers. Moving the agenda forward, the initiative seeks to strengthen collaboration and advance policies that promote decent work, dignity, and improved labor conditions for domestic workers across Sierra Leone. Welcoming the new National Steering Committee, both the Vice Chairman, Sierra Leone Employers Federation, and the President, Sierra Leone Labour Congress, aligned their commitments to building a labor market where domestic workers are treated with dignity and respect.
Sierra Leone Employers Federation, we affirmed this commitment to working closely with the industry of employment, labor and social security, the International Labour Organization, Workers' Organization, and all stakeholders to ensure successful implementation of ILO Convention number 189 is achieved.
Implementing is not just an ordinary thing. It should be followed by practicalization on the ground. And this is what we're going to ask the Honorable Deputy Minister to make it work, because they are on the side of government. They have to make it practical.
The ILO representative in Violeta Chinyangarara appreciated the role of all relevant stakeholders in the partnership for advancing the ILO Convention 189 and for the promotion of decent work for domestic workers. She congratulated Sierra Leone for the bold step and ILO for supporting the effective operation of the steering committee.
Today we are celebrating a milestone that also shows that the government of Sierra Leone did not only ratify the Convention C-189 on decent work for domestic workers, but beyond ratification, at the highest level, you have also decided to come up with a national steering committee.
According to the Deputy Minister Lansana Mohamed Doumbia, the committee is expected to play a key role in driving reforms and ensuring greater protection and recognition for domestic workers in the country.
By institutionalizing coordination, strengthening social dialogue, and ensuring accountability, the National Steering Committee will play a central role in advancing decent work, dignity, social justice for domestic and migrant workers in and outside Sierra Leone.
The committee, which will be chaired by the Ministry of Labour, cuts across Attorney General and Minister of Justice's office through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, the Human Rights Commission, Sierra Leone Labour Congress, and Domestic Workers Union. SLBC, Dennis Fraser reporting.
Residents of Congo Town in Freetown are counting their losses after heavy flooding swept through the community in the early hours of Wednesday following torrential downpour. Victims say poor waste disposal and blocked drainages contributed to the disaster. Our reporter Nandewa Toronka tells us more.
Heavy downfall in the early hours of Wednesday left several homes flooded in the Congo Town community, forcing families to flee for safety and destroying valuable properties. One of the victims, sent to Kamara, said the flood waters washed away everything she owned. She explained that she escaped with her 3 children only through the timely assistance of neighbors.
The water came into my house very quickly and washed away all my belongings. I had nothing left. My neighbors helped me escape with my 3 children. I believe the flooding was made worse because garbage is often dumped into the drainage system.
Another resident, Abdullah Mansare, said the community woke up to a distressing situation as flood waters entered homes in the community. He also raised concerns about severe erosion in the upper parts of the community, warning that it could trigger a major landslide if urgent actions is not taken.
The erosion is getting worse every day. If nothing is done, it could lead to a serious landslide disaster. We are appealing to the authorities to support the affected families and put measures in place to prevent future flooding.
Residents are now calling on authorities, the Freetown City Council, National Disaster Management Agency, and other relevant authorities to provide immediate assistance to affected families, particularly Central Camara, while taking urgent steps to improve drainage systems and address erosion to reduce the high risk of future disasters. SLBC News, Nandewa Toronka reporting.
You are watching Newshour coming to you live from the Southern Broadcasting Corporation from our broadcasting house here at Newmanville in Freetown. The Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change, with support from the World Bank and UNDP, has held consultation with stakeholders to develop Sierra Leone's first comprehensive climate change legislation. The latest engagement in Waterloo brought together stakeholders at the Western Area Rural District Council Hall to discuss how the proposed law can address the country's growing climate challenges. Esther Nene Kamara tells us more.
As Sierra Leone continues to experience the impacts of climate change, including rising temperatures, flooding, coastal erosion, and threats to food security, the government is working to establish a legal framework to guide climate action. The one-day stakeholder consultation in Waterloo provided a platform for government institutions, local authorities, civil society organizations, community representatives, and development partners to share their views on the proposed climate change bill. The Chief Director in the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, Laai Samba Keita, said the legislation will provide a coordinated approach to climate governance, strengthen accountability, and support the implementation of climate adaptation and mitigation measures across the country.
We are going to have rules in this legislation that will tell projects that are coming in for carbon projects, those are coming for reforestation, those that are coming with cook stoves. All these projects, we are going to set out how they are going to operate and how will the communities benefit from these projects that are coming. They are already in country. So this law will go a long way in legitimizing the processes that are involved in that.
State Council Manif Jaffa said the government recognizes the importance of having a strong legal framework to respond to climate change, noting that the proposed legislation is expected to define the roles and responsibilities of institutions involved in climate action while ensuring Sierra Leone meets its international climate commitments.
We are saying this bill is not a bill for just the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. It is a Sierra Leonean thing. It is something that will be protective of us. So we are encouraging people to come on board. We have just started it here in the Western Area, Rural Waterloo. So we want a lot of people to come on board and make their input so that we get the final draft and make it be a law in Sierra Leone.
The World Bank and UNDP have been supporting the country's efforts to strengthen climate resilience, recognizing the country's vulnerability to climate-related risks. The World Bank representative Derek Cheng said climate change poses significant risks to Sierra Leone's development gains, affecting sectors such as agriculture, infrastructure, water resources, and livelihoods. He reaffirmed the institution's continued commitment to support climate-resilient development through partnerships with government and other stakeholders.
All in all, this operation has what we call 10 tire actions, 10 reforms, that we hope by August, all of this will be completed and this operation can proceed to be achieved and completed this calendar year.
Participants called for an inclusive and practical laws that addresses the realities faced by communities, especially communities mostly affected by climate change. The consultation in Western Area Rural District will be followed by similar engagement in the Western Area Urban District. For SLBC, Esther Nenekama reporting.
Statistics Sierra Leone has announced that the mock population and housing census will take place this weekend as preparation continues towards the main census exercise in December. The announcement was made during an orientation held for independent monitors ahead of the mock census held at the UNFPA's head office at Signal Hill in Freetown. The reporter Christina Camara has more.
The meeting, which brought together officials from Statistics Sierra Leone, United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, government institutions, development partners, civil society organizations, and representatives from the media to strengthen transparency, accountability, and public confidence in the census process. The UNFPA country representative, Kunle Adini, described the census as a critical foundation for national development. He said reliable population data will support effective planning, policy making, equitable resource allocation, and improve delivery of essential services. He noted that the involvement of observers will help identify gaps and provide recommendations to improve the quality and credibility of the exercise. He urged the monitors to carry out their responsibilities with professionalism, integrity, and impartiality, stressing that their role was to strengthen the process and not to find fault.
This half-day orientation is designed to equip all teams with the requisite knowledge and skills to uphold international best practices in census operation. By enhancing the competence of our enumerators and giving them feedback as supervisors across board, we are collectively safeguarding the integrity of the process and reinforcing, most importantly, public trust in the results of the census.
The Deputy Statistician General, Lance Anakane, assured participants of his institution's commitment to delivering transparent, credible, and inclusive census. He explained that the 2026 population and housing census will be Sierra Leone's first fully digital census, using digital mapping, tablets for data collection, real-time transmission, and GIS technology to improve accuracy and efficiency. Mr. Kane disclosed that field personnel have already been deployed to 6 selected mock census districts, with census night scheduled for July 19 and mock enumeration beginning on July 20th, 2026.
As part of the mock schedule, we expect that the mock census night will be on the 19th of July 2026, and the main data collection will start on the 20th of July 2026. Already, the listing, like I mentioned, is underway.
The Director of Census, Abdullahi Salia Brema, also outlined the preparations behind the census, including mapping, questionnaire development, recruitment, and training of field staff. He said the mock census will test the computer-assisted, personal interviewing system, data flow processes, and field logistics, especially in hard-to-reach communities. The UNFPA's technical consultant, Stephen Wendo, explained that the digital system would allow information collected from households through tablets to move from enumerators to supervisors and eventually to central servers for analysis. Statistics Sierra Leone and its partners said the mock census is a major step towards ensuring that the December 2026 population and housing census will be credible, inclusive, and trusted by all citizens. SLBC News are in Freetown. Christian Akama reporting.
As the 2028 election zooming, members of the Sierra Leone Association of the Blind Connaught District have called on political parties to encourage and award symbols to persons living with disabilities. The association says they have competent members capable of driving meaningful development and policies in the country. Sulaiman Babature reports.
The Constitution of Sierra Leone, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the Tripartite Recommendations, and the GUI Act, among other laws and policies in Sierra Leone, made provisions for the inclusion of persons living with disabilities in the political, social, and economic landscape of Sierra Leone. Despite the legally binding rights for persons living with disabilities to vote and be voted for without discrimination, achieving such goal has been a serious concern, hence the appeal from members of the Sierra Leone Association of the Blind Connaught District. Secretary General, Sierra Leone Association of the Blind Connaught District, Peter Salamina, said with such opportunity, they will be able to channel their issues and contribute to national development.
When it comes to governance in this country, disabled people, especially at local level, we are misrepresented or not even represented. That is why in these coming elections, let them give symbols to disabled persons to become councillors, honorables. So when we go to parliament and council, we will be able to channel our issues. We see it as if we are not represented.
Responding to the call, the chairman of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, Brahma Abdullahi Sharif, said they have been making the necessary moves towards achieving that dream. Brahma Sharif said they had engaged the Electoral Commission, Political Parties Regulatory Commission, and political parties on policy formulations and reviews to ensure the political parties have disability representation in key positions. He said they have engaged the All Political Parties Disabilities Association, submitted a position paper, and designed campaign strategies, among others.
In the position paper, we mentioned the issue of active participation of people with disability right across the electoral circle. We also mentioned the fact that the Electoral Commission should look at the nomination list of political parties to ensure that at least 2% people with disability are in the nomination list. We've also asked the Electoral Commission to understand that whether in terms of permanent or temporary employment, people with disability are there, they have capacity and they can deliver.
He commended the National Electoral Commission, Political Parties Regulatory Commission, and the two main political parties, SLPP and APC, for their steps and actions to include persons with disabilities and promised to engage other parties on same. While campaigning for the good cause, he called on persons living with disabilities to show interest, register as party members, participate in party activities, and pay dues. The association also appealed for the development of their makeshift training center where they gather for bead making, tailoring, weaving, and other activities. The purpose of the center, they said, was to empower themselves, create jobs, and refrain from begging in the streets. Listening to their call, SLPP flag bearer aspirant Honorable Musa Tarawali donated to them the sum of 10,000 leones and promised to do more to help them achieve their dreams. SLBC News, Sulaiman Babature reporting.
This is Newshour coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. We now take our segment, and for that we start with entertainment.
Hello and welcome to another update of our exciting entertainment news with me, Abdul Mansari. In this edition of entertainment news, SLBC profiles Jamaica legendary reggae icon Fanta Moja, who dies at the age of 49. Now, the global reggae community is mourning the legendary conscious reggae singer Fanta Moja, who has died at the age of 49. Rasta got soul, reggae music rocking my bones.
Rasta got soul,
Reggae music rocking my bone. My bone, it's never getting old. Reggae music more and more.
Okay, that's the song of the legendary artist Fanta Moja. He rose to international presence with timeless hits, including Hail the King, Hungry, Stranger, and Corruption. His music inspired generations of reggae lovers while preserving the rich traditions of roots reggae. The Most High Jah, believe in me.
Through my troubles and trials, He comfort me. The Most High Jah, deliver me. Through my troubles and trials.
Okay, that's another hit song for this particular legendary artist. According to reports, Fanta Moja passed away on Tuesday, July 14, 2026, at the University Hospital of the West Indies in Kingston, Jamaica, after suffering complications related to a heart condition. His death comes just weeks before what could have been his 50th birthday.
Gonna make me stronger. You will never see me by the street side begging bread. Jah bless me with a roof over my head. Just keep focused, the better is ahead. The power stronger. They are gossip that them not really know it. Not even little of them would have shown me. As the days go by, many pagan try, they're wishing for we to fall.
The star was renowned for his spirituality, uplifting music, and unwavering commitment to conscious reggae. Fanta Moja built a global presence through songs that promoted faith, justice, African pride, unity, and Rastafarian values. His powerful, charismatic, and energetic stage performances made him one of Jamaica's most respected reggae artists.
The Most High Jah, deliver me through my troubles and trials. They comfort me. The Most High Jah, deliver me through my troubles and trials. Don't be irritable in front of me, represent of my enemies. Anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. God don't know the back of what we face, but we deal with these struggles out here. Some corrupted people, them know. We say everybody, let me sing like them.
Fanta Moja leaves behind a remarkable musical legacy that will continue to inspire reggae fans for generations. Rest in peace, Fanta Moja. Your voice, your message will continue to live on. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of Entertainment News, and I have been your presenter, Abdul Mansani. Bye-bye.
Well, let's now take sports.
Hello and welcome to the sporting updates that brings you the very best in local and international sports. And by the way, my name is Abdul Kabir, and thank you so much for your time. Now, the planning for the 10th edition of the Approved School Sports Promoters Association Inter-Community League has reached an advanced stage with arrangement around stakeholders, and in fact they held a seminar to engage community teams that will be competing in this year's league, and 32 teams are set for the 2026 edition. Well, this story was filed in by our intern reporter Alimami Conte and here in the studios by Mohammed Siliko.
The seminar brought together representatives from the 32 participating communities, team captains, club managers, coaches, Sierra Leone Police, and approved school sport promoters association as per officials. The participants were taken through the competition's rules and regulations, disciplinary procedures, officiating standards, and the roles of the various stakeholders to ensure a successful tournament. As part of the seminar, referee tutor in Sierra Leone, Alpha Rahim, conducted a session on the latest FIFA laws of the game, explaining some of the recently introduced rule changes that will be applied throughout the competition. Coaches, captains, and community representatives were urged to familiarize themselves with the updated laws to minimize disputes during matches.
Accidentally carry nakian. No single player move. Nakian. You know allow of you. You say allow of you. But he said if Nagda and immediately to score no goal.
Speaking after the seminar, the director of competition, Mohamed Kaloko, said organizers have put all the necessary arrangements in place, including security and logistics, to ensure a successful tournament.
The cash prize this year, because last year I be 150 where we divide them. First man get 90, second man get 60. This time round, we do additional of 50. In a way, some up to 200, and that 200 first man they get 120, then second man they get 80. That's what we don't do. And this time round,
beyond the action on the pitch, the tournament has become a vehicle for youth engagement and community interaction. Assistant Superintendent of Police at the approved school police post, Jonathan Tamba Kondokwi, said the police have held series of stakeholder engagement with coaches, managers, and community representatives as part of preparations.
Tell the fans them with the listening radio that this time round, we security apparatus will be very rigid and formidable. We will make things that we blunt happen during the past as past. We did bring chaos and other things, then we go able to address them through the media.
The tournament will officially begin on Sunday, 19th July, with an opening ceremony between Calabar Town and Brahma Lane, the defending champions, marking the start of another exciting chapter in one of Sierra Leone's biggest grassroots football competition.
In the international scene, well, two of the best players at present are set for the 2026 FIFA Men's Football World Cup, Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal. Well, two great players who have got so much recognition in recent times will square off when Spain will face Argentina in the 2026 showcase. Well, it's going to be a very interesting match and it promises to be a cracker, and undoubtedly we are going to see the very best of football. And that ends your update, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Many thanks to Abu Kabir with that sport update. Well, now to end the news, the main point again. The 96th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers has begun in Freetown at a critical point for West Africa. The meeting at the Bintumani Hall in Aberdeen came ahead of the 69th ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State Summit. The Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, with support from the World Bank and UNDP, has held an engagement to develop Sierra Leone's first comprehensive climate change legislation. And Cabinet has approved for the establishment of a new national shipping company, marking a major step toward reviving Sierra Leone's maritime sector and strengthening its position in regional and international trade. Well, all that were for you in this edition of News Hour, which came to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation from a broadcasting house here in Freetown. News Hour returns tomorrow at 8 a.m. Continue to view a public broadcast at the SLBC. If not, why not? I've been a news anchor, Ibrahim. Have a night rest. Goodbye.